What's going on, guys? I'm Tyler, and in continuing my series of Disney movie reviews, I'm here to let you know that Make Mine Music is no perfect movie. And just like Melody Time, it's a series of shorts set to classical and popular music. In this one, there are 9 shorts, but they are much shorter in length and have more of a variety show feel to them, which adds a lot more to the entertainment value for me personally. In a weird way, it's actually not on Disney Plus, which I don't really understand. You could point to some censorship problems, like there's a brief scene where there is a girl with no clothes on. There's an entire short where it involves the Hatfields and McCoys, which involves gun violence. I didn't even see it because the cut that I have doesn't even have that short. There's one song during Casey at the Bat where it says that women don't know shit about baseball, and that wasn't my favorite short, anyways. Oddly enough, there were worse problems than that. And of course, the Peter and the Wolf segment where a little kid is running around with a toy gun trying to hunt down an animal. So there are a lot of things you could point to, but these are things that are in Disney Plus releases from the 50s onward that still have those elements to it. The closest thing I can think of as to why it's not on here is because of very low popularity, but then again, half the stuff on Disney Plus nobody's ever heard of, so I don't really know what the deal is, but it's a shame because as far as Disney anthologies go, it's still a really good one. And as usual, I'm going to talk about my favorite shorts first in order to get the overall feel of this movie. The first one is called Blue Bayou. It was a short that was originally made for Fantasia, but they re edited with different music from the Ken Darby chorus. It follows 2 herons who are flying around a bayou during the middle of the night. It's basically a tone poem. You're watching it just to see the beauty of what nature looks like at night. And that alone gives it this very peaceful, meditative feel to it. It was a great one to start off with. The music was so nice and elegant, and the chorus sang so softly, it fit the mood perfectly. Most people, if they have seen this movie, remember the finale, which involves a sperm whale who is discovered to be an operatic genius. And it's one of the more unique shorts in that the lead performer, Nelson Eddy, performs every single character that speaks in this short, including the whale, including the narrator, even this one stray cat at one point. It was interesting to watch because Eddie has clearly has this very top-notch singing range. He was an opera singer too. And the music, even if you're not an opera fan, you can get into because it's sung with so much passion and at a very, as I said before, a very versatile range. I don't know that many singers who could sing as well as this guy did. It has an underdog story that's easy to root for, and honestly, not even as cliched as I thought it was going to be, because usually with underdog stories, there's like only one believer and a ton of skeptics. But in this one, it's actually the other way around, and it leads to some of the best jokes in this short. The ending is a little bittersweet, and I kind of knew that going in just based on the fact that I did a little bit of digging on this movie beforehand. But in any case, even if you're not an opera fan, you can enjoy just the scale and the scope of the story and the music because it is so well put together. And yeah, there's not much I can say other than the movie does have a good beginning and a good ending. But my favorite short for sure was the second one called All the Cats Join In, where a group of teenagers all get this urge to start dancing to jazz. And the cool thing about the short is that there is this pencil drawing all the characters and locations on the spot as the short is happening. And when I saw the name Benny Goodman as the music director for this, I knew I was going to get a good treat out of this because Benny Goodman is one of the best jazz musicians who has ever lived, and this did not disappoint. The jazz was so fast paced, it felt so damn catchy. The choreography that the characters danced to was also really well done. And the interesting choice to have the pencil draw out everything as it was happening, it fits the feel of jazz music. It felt improvisational and on the spot, which is exactly what it needed. The only real problem I had with the short is that some characters have like dot eyes and some have like irises, and it felt like a really weird mix up at parts, but it's really just a nitpick. But that alone would have been worth seeing the entire movie for sure. The only 2 shorts that really disappointed me are ones that relied more on narration as opposed to the animation and the music. The first one being Casey at the Bat, and It was the most overly sexist short out of all the Disney anthologies that I've seen because it involves Casey, who is basically a ladies' man as opposed to a real baseball player, and not only that, the short itself ended on a really anticlimactic note. I don't know if that's how the poem ended, but it really doesn't make me want to read the poem. Unfortunately, the biggest letdown in regards to this movie, and I didn't want to say it because I was looking forward to this one the most, but it is Peter the Wolf, mainly because there is just as much pointless narration and pointlessly told out facts that we're watching on screen as the Irishman. And I know I said that about the Sterling Holloway short and Free Caballeros, and believe it or not, Sterling Holloway narrates this too. I don't know why. He has more energy in this one, I'll give him that, but he just still sounds really unnatural. And the fact that this is a story told through an orchestra where every character is represented by a different instrument, it's really hard to pay attention to that when someone's speaking over it, speaking for the characters, even though you have the orchestra to do that for you. So I don't really remember that much of the story. Like I read it when I was a kid a ton of times, but it's hard to pay attention when there's so much stuff going on all at once and it's all coming from one person. But rant aside, Make Mine Music still has an eclectic range of music styles and animation styles that makes it one of the better Disney anthologies. It has its problems just like all the other ones. It is outdated. It's really going to depend on whether you like older music or older Disney movies, but I like both of those, and this was a good time. So for all those reasons, I'm going to give Make Mine Music a 3.5 out of 5. Guys, thanks as always for watching. That does it for me on the Disney anthologies for now. I'm going to get into the popular ones much, much later once I'm done doing all the underrated ones that not that many people have heard of. I'm not going to do Saludos Amigos because there's really not a ton to talk about. It's not even an hour long. So, yeah. Thanks as always for watching once again. If you have seen Make Mine Music, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Be sure to stay tuned for more reviews, and be sure to like and subscribe. Take care.